It's currently Tuesday, which is my normally scheduled day off. However, I have a customer who wanted to come in today for a trade appraisal to look at his vehicle. It's a Silverado I already sold, but he wants to trade in a Jeep. So I said, listen, no problem. I can meet you here. I only live like less than 10 minutes away. While I'm waiting for him, I think a cool thing would be is let's have a little video and a conversation debriefing the last two videos and our experience with a customer that was looking at this 2019 Suburban. Those last two videos got a great response, a lot of good comments, and I think those videos really kind of showed the opposite side of the spectrum, right? Everything we see is always against the dealer or the negative stereotypes of salespeople and a dealership. No one ever talks about the client side of it or the customer side of it. And I can tell you, the door swings both ways. There are bad dealers out there, and there are also bad customers out there. Now, I'm not insinuating that the customer that was looking at the Suburban is a bad customer. They did nothing wrong. There's no hard feelings on my end. As a salesperson, you do develop a thick skin. The average salesperson in the car industry closes like 20 to 30% of who actually walks through the door and comes into their dealership. That means out of 10 people, 7 of them are saying no, giving you a reason why they won't buy the car, or just leaving. They're not interested, and maybe you never see them or hear from them again. Personally here, I probably close 50 to 60% of who I talk to. Now, that's understandable because I've been here for 18 years. Most salespeople that are successful are in the same spot for a career. This way you can really focus on repeat and referral business and actually build a client base, right? Which is what I've done over the years. As far as the situation went with the Suburban, a little bit of a different story because I never even met this person. This was a phone call. It was a couple conversations over the phone. It was a bunch of text messages through our CRM, our system. It was me forwarding all the information and all the details I could about the vehicle to try to build as much value in it to get the customer to actually say, yeah, I want to come down. Now, in this case, the customer seems to have been buying a price versus buying a vehicle, because since we couldn't hit her number, she wasn't coming down to look at the vehicle, I guess. Now, one main thing I did leave out in the last two videos, because I thought I would have brought it up when she came in to actually buy the vehicle, was we did take $500 off the price of this car. So where we were selling it for $37,777, we offered it to her for a few hundred off and actually settled on a $500 discount, keeping it GM certified, everything else being the same. So she could have bought it for $37,277. Now, if you're looking at a car and your budget's $35 and the right vehicle's $37, you can afford the $37. So I don't think this was a money thing. I don't think it was a payment thing or an interest rate thing. I think in this particular case, her perception of a good deal was the number she wanted to pay. Now, how she came up with that number, I don't know. She mentioned in the last correspondence we had was that based on her national research, our price wasn't fair. And to me, that's something that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because you're not buying nationally, you're buying, locally, right? So I did some research, and in a 50-mile radius of our store, there were 12 2019 Suburban LTs out there. Our price was right in the mix, and we had pretty much one of the lowest mileage cars. Like, there were cars out there that were cheaper, but they had 100,000 miles on them, double the miles. So our car actually presents very well within a 50-mile radius. Now, if you're from North New Jersey, in the suburbs of New York City, there are hundreds of dealerships around here. Only 12 Suburban LTs. So it's pretty safe to say that the demand for the vehicle outweighs the supply. For argument's sake, I decided to click on national rather than 50 miles, and I think there was 86 vehicles. Again, 2019 LT Suburbans. In that instance, to try to reduce the number, I did put under 75,000 miles. If you remember, this one has 55,000 miles on it. So I went 20,000 miles higher. I think there was 86 vehicles nationally. Now, if there's one in Texas, and you're gonna buy the car in Texas because it's $1,000 cheaper, it's gonna cost you more time and energy and money to get that car up here anyway. So it doesn't really make any sense. At least it doesn't make any sense to me. But be that as it may, this is a customer's decision. When customers come to look at cars, it's up to them whether they want to buy it. And as a salesperson, you have to leave two things at the door, right? You don't let your emotions get involved, and you don't let your ego get involved. A lot of people would say, oh, she stood you up, she ghosted you, don't call her back. Or some people were commenting that I should call her and tell her the car's sold. Like, none of that gets you anywhere, right? Just be honest, give the information, spend the time, right? Because I'm in the business of service. I'm here to serve you and help you and educate you on your vehicle purchase. Let me do my job. Whether you want to buy the car or not is totally up to you. And as a salesperson, you got to understand that. You're going to put time in and you're not going to get anything out of it. And other times, you're going to put time in and you're going to get a sale. It's just the way the business is. So there's no reason to be upset. There's no reason to be mad. There's no reason to let your pride get in the way and then not follow up. So yesterday, On Monday, what I decided to do was reach out again. So I called, it rang like 4 or 5 times. I got voicemail, I left a message. At the end of the message, I was hanging up the phone and I happened to see on the timer, it was 38 seconds. So it took me 38 seconds to dial a number, get a voicemail, leave a message. I then went on and texted through our system, and that's where I got the response that she was not interested in the vehicle anymore. And that's pretty much it. I got my response. She doesn't want the vehicle. I'm really appreciative that she updated me on that, and I can move on. Another thing too, like one of the ways I've always looked at situations or customer interactions is there is no waste of time. A lot of salespeople out there will get frustrated, like I spent so much time with this customer, I didn't get a deal out of it, but you got something out of it. So if we look at this perfect example, phone call came in, didn't take much, you know, as far as interaction with the customer. I was able to get all the information for the vehicle, went outside, familiarized myself with the equipment in the car, the condition of the vehicle, the Carfax, the repair orders, everything. I was able to get all that information back out to her. And now what happens? Yes, she didn't buy the car, but like the next day I got a phone call from someone in Delaware, and guess what? I was familiar with the vehicle. So on the phone, now I sound like a true professional. I don't have to get any information. I don't have to do anything. I know, listen, we put 2 tires on the car. We put front pads and rotors on the vehicle. The vehicle looks good. It's got a couple little imperfections here and there. I was able to explain those to the customer. I was able to basically get all that information out immediately, because in the process of the first interaction, I learned everything I needed to know about the vehicle. So now I'm like a pro with this particular vehicle. So, you know, send me internet leads, send me customers, have someone come in the lot. I know it's here and I know how to present this vehicle well to hopefully sell it to somebody else. So again, salespeople, remember that there are no interactions that are a wasted time. You always can find something that you learned in the process that will help you in the future.